Hey, so I have posted again on my Substack. Uh, Now I made a video about this just like 2 months ago because I uploaded it to Metanaissance after Metanaissance had errors. Metanaissance got hacked, and so I reposted it to Metanaissance. But then Metanaissance appears to have been hacked again, and the site is completely fucked up. So I've posted it to my Substack because Substack is a more stable environment. But this is Instinctual Man, Ethnos, and Spirituality. It is almost 5,000 words long, and it was actually one of my favorite articles to write. Um, if you haven't read the article, please read it now. The link is in the description. Uh, it was actually my goal with this article to open up discussion about the topic of the creation of a new ethnos. Now, ethnos does not mean race. People sometimes equate the two, but they are actually different things. And the example I would give is of the British ethnos, which up until the end of World War II included many races and was still one single thing. It was a culturally unified people of many races. Their culture was their ethnos. So ethnos does not have to be racially homogenous. Now, in this article, I did a lot of reading in preparation for this article. So I hope that people do enjoy it as much as I enjoyed it. I still enjoy reading it back over again whenever I go to edit and make sure that everything's right for the publishing. So I introduce myself. I talk about science and philosophy and psychedelics and psychedelic thinking, really, and pragmatism. And I also talk about my libertarianism. And essentially, these are the guiding principles that I use in my writing. I look for what is useful. I look for the scientific evidence, and I look for the solutions that use minimal force. Um, Then I explain the dawn of civilization. The next section is the dawn of civilization. Uh, in this section, I cover Riane Eisler's The Chalice and the Blade, and I also cite Jacques Calvin's The Origins of the Birth of the Gods and the Origins of Agriculture. That's the book that I read specifically in preparation for writing this article back in 2024. And essentially, I treat Eisler skeptically, but I ultimately try to prove her right. And this was an academic game of sorts, because I don't really believe that there was an egalitarian society. But if there was, the evidence is incomplete as far as I'm concerned. But if there was an egalitarian society, here's what we do in order to bring ourselves closer to that. And so that's what that section is about. And I reference Gerald Gardner's Wicca, because Wicca, of course, has a female deity. And I believe that in order to achieve a more egalitarian society, if you are seeking to do that, you would need a female deity alongside a male deity, or perhaps just a female deity, but you would need a female deity. That's the ultimate thing. But I recommend having one of each. The next section is about the Greeks. And the interesting thing about that section was that I was reading The Ancient Ethnostate by Guillaume de Rocher at the same time that I was listening through the audiobook of The Life of Greece by Will Durant. And that section was inspired by that experience. But I cover Julian Jaynes, The Origins of Consciousness and the Breakdown of the Bicameral Mind. And I agree with Jaynes in the effect. I believe that the Greeks did at a certain point hear voices, but I disagree with him on the cause. So he believes that the cause of these voices was that the brain was not fully developed and was separated hemispherically. Well, I just don't think that's reasonable. So I bring up Robert Anton Wilson and Timothy Leary and the book Prometheus Rising, and I use that to explain that. And then, of course, I reference The Ancient Ethnostate by Durocher, and I go through the different techniques and practices that the Greeks employed to maintain their ethnos. The next section is a useful practice, wherein I described, I explained the theory behind Jim Penman's biohistory. Then, of course, I use some rhetoric in there as well. I really wanted to emphasize that we need some more stability in our society, and the way to do that is to increase V, or vigor, because increasing C is an increase in testosterone, which increases the crime rate and all sorts of behaviors that cause the destruction of civilization. Then I go into spirituality, and I discuss Christianity. I discuss the benefits of having a religious belief system. But I discuss Christianity and why I think Christianity falls short. And then I discuss Hinduism and chaos magic as well. And I am trying to piece together a system that is free from the flaws, that has the benefits of all of these, but without any of the flaws of them. And that is not easy, but I believe I did a good job at presenting it. And I also discuss consciousness in that section as well. And I discuss Itzhak Bentov and Jeffrey Schwartz, and also I make mention of Rupert Sheldrake, although I'm not quite as familiar with Sheldrake. But ultimately, consciousness, I believe, is a field, and is therefore immaterial, but binds to the material because that's what fields do. And this explains a lot, and a lot of phenomena that we can observe. But that's beside the point. If you want to read more about that, that's in the article. That's pretty late in the article. Then, of course, I have the conclusion, and the conclusion is just a bit of rhetoric about conservatism. And ultimately, I really enjoyed writing this article, and I want to talk more about it, and I was really hoping other people would respond to it and come up with their own ideas and maybe further the conversation. But as of yet, no one has done so. It's been almost 2 years since I published that article. Since I first published that article on Metanaissance. But now it is on my Substack, and if you are not subscribed to my Substack, please do so. And I will be posting my other articles there as well, and I will be making videos about those. and I will be posting newer articles to my Substack as well. Thank you for watching. Peace.